Welcome back to Africa Films. Today we'll be talking about a 2010 action film from Uganda titled Who Killed Captain Alex? Relax and be aware, there are spoilers. The movie begins with Captain Alex being interviewed by journalists regarding the hunt for a terrorist group called the Tiger Mafia, a group that has been causing chaos all over Kampala. He assures them, however, that Kampala is safe and the president did the right thing by hiring him to lead the hunt to take the Tiger Mafia down. Later on, Captain Alex and his men are introduced to their location to set up a base for their search in Wakaliga by a police officer. The place is a mess, however it's the best the police division could offer them, as Wakaliga is a village. Days later, Captain Alex and his men have settled in their new base, and Sergeant Roger voices his worry about not catching the Tiger Mafia. However, Captain Alex assures him that they are actually close to completing their mission, knowing that the Tiger Mafia may be hiding amongst their families in the village. Meanwhile, the other members of Captain Alex's team are at the bar having fun and dancing to a song sung by Natasha. However, fun turns to violence when a fight breaks out because one of the soldiers put their hands on the singer in front of her boyfriend. This fight is stopped by Captain Alex, who immediately kicks out the locals and berates his men for lack of discipline, telling them they are mistreating the kindness of the villagers. Days later, Puffs, a high-ranking member of the Tiger Mafia, is engaging in a shady business trade with another gangster, but little do they know they are followed by Captain Alex's men. It is not long, however, when Captain Alex's men are discovered, causing a gunfight between the two groups. In the tense battle, a moment comes when it looks like the Tiger Mafia are about to be victorious. However, more reinforcements aid Captain Alex's men. This causes the Tiger Mafia to retreat. However, Martin, a leader in the Tiger Mafia, is detained. Meanwhile, Richard, the Tiger Mafia's leader, is at home watching TV. He is interrupted with breaking news. He discovers his brother Martin is captured, which only enrages him. His wife, Rita, arrives after escaping the earlier gunfight, and while realizing Richard is worried of the captivity of his brother, berates Richard for caring so much. Richard responds by mentioning he has dozens of wives, but he only has one brother. He then tells his wife to assemble the team. This creates panic among his henchmen, as they believe Richard is completely crazy. Later at the meeting, Richard questions how his men would allow Martin to be captured. Puffs tries to ease the tension by mentioning at least Richard's wife was not captured. This angers Richard as he shoots his wife and attacks his henchmen. They all flee in fear, but he is able to track them down not far from their base. When Richard calms down, he calls for his spy in Captain Alex's camp. When she arrives, she mentions that Martin has been transferred to a police station not far away. Richard plots his next move and demands his henchmen to deliver Captain Alex to him before the end of the day. Later on, Richard visits the police headquarters, demanding the police officer to release his brother. It is revealed that the police officer is corrupt and working with Richard. However, he does not want to blow his cover now that Captain Alex is in town. He tells Richard it is not a simple task to release Martin. Richard threatens the officer, calling him a diarrhea squirt. Richard eventually leaves the station annoyed, but also takes a box of guns with him on his way out. Evening comes and Vicky, the spy, visits Captain Alex and after some flirting aim to have some adult fun. But Vicky persuades Alex to take a shower first. When Alex agrees and heads to the shower, Vicky uses this opportunity to signal the Tiger Mafia's ambush on the camp. The Tiger Mafia sweep in and confiscate the weapons of the present commandos. Suddenly, a gunshot is heard and the Tiger Mafia scurry in confusion. It is revealed that Alex is indeed shot. In the chaos, some of the commandos are taken captive, while the others on camp search for the person responsible for Captain Alex's death, but to no avail. The next morning, the remaining commandos, dejected, wonder who would have killed Captain Alex. One of them believes it was the captured commandos, thinking they went AWOL, but another believes it to be Tiger Mafia. While the men try to determine the next course of action, they are met by Alex's brother, Bruce Yu, who is searching for a few answers regarding Alex's death. He furthermore asks to be part of the investigation. He enters Alex's tent and looks around for clues. In his search, he finds a business card of Tiger Mafia in his brother's pants. He is interrupted suddenly by a sound on a walkie-talkie, in which he hears someone yelling for the killer of Captain Alex. The voice turns out to be Richard's at Tiger Mafia's base. Richard is once again furious at his men, but this time it's because his men were not able to deliver Captain Alex to him. He brings forth the captive soldiers and interrogates them about the unknown killer of Captain Alex. As the commandos listen to the conversation through the walkie-talkie, they then discover the missing commandos are actually held captive, and in irritation they send Bruce Yu away from the base, telling him to leave the matter to military hands. Bruce Yu leaves and heads to a martial arts school, but he is confronted by some hostile students. He is able to hold his own until he is stopped by a martial arts teacher. When the teacher questions Bruce's presence, Bruce lets the teacher know he is looking to be trained to avenge his brother's death. The master of the school, however, rejects teaching Bruce, mentioning that martial arts is for self-defense, not revenge. Back at the camp, Vicky, not knowing she has been discovered as the mole, returns, and the few men knowing her true identity decide not to confront her as she could unknowingly lead them to Tiger Mafia. Later on, Richard kidnaps a few journalists with the intent of delivering a message to Uganda. He forces the journalists to record his request to release his brother. He warns everyone watching of live killings of the hostages if his demands are not met. This ultimately prompts the commandos to recruit more men as they set out to find the Tiger Mafia base before more innocent people are killed and stop them once and for all. Elsewhere, Bruce retreats to isolation like a nomad, and while plotting on revenge, stumbles upon Rita, gravely injured and in need of help. However, he is unaware of who she is. He heals her wounds and eventually they become some sort of friends. He eventually finds out her identity, and though initially surprised but eventually hopeful, asks her to lead him to Tiger Mafia base. She agrees but warns it will be a difficult task to infiltrate the base. Meanwhile, the commandos are planning an attack on the Tiger Mafia base, but the men are unaware of a mole in their midst. The officer from the station calls Richard and leaves his phone on, allowing Richard to eavesdrop on the commandos' plans of attack. This gives Richard the upper hand as he prepares for the invasion. He returns to base and commands one of his men to steal a helicopter and blow up a few buildings in Kampala as a distraction. He iterates that Ugandans love their country more than they hate him. The next day, the commandos approach the perimeter of Tiger Mafia's camp and rehearse their mode of attack, unaware that Tiger Mafia are waiting for them. At the same time, Bruce sneaks into the Tiger Mafia camp, and though he is able to beat up a few men, he is captured and taken to Richard. Richard begins to act more erratic, killing his men and his wives out of frustration and attempting to use Bruce as a punching bag, unaware Bruce is able to defend himself. Meanwhile, Richard's plan of attacking Kampala is going to plan as many buildings are being destroyed. Suddenly, the commandos bring the fight to the doorstep of the Tiger Mafia. As a bloody battle rages between the two groups, the stolen helicopter arrives at the Tiger Mafia camp and blows open the roof, killing almost everyone. Richard and his men escape but run headfirst into the commandos surrounding their base. Bullets are fired in all directions and lives are lost. The Ugandan Air Force is eventually brought into the fight to even the odds. Eventually, Richard, even after putting up a fight, is captured. This systematically ends the battle as all the members of Tiger Mafia are detained. The movie ends with the minister calling the general asking about the security situation in Kampala. The general assures the minister that all has been resolved. However, we still do not know who killed Captain Alex. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoy movies like this. Turn on the notification button to be alerted when we narrate new movies. And like this to help us get more recognition.